stage and share her remarkable journey with us.
Thank you. That was really, really humbling introduction, Shambhavi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And good afternoon again, everyone. Uh, how would I say? It's been long that I've stepped into college, and last I was there, I was a student uh, on the stage speaking and talking to my professors how to what to do next after my bachelor's. And today I'm sitting here after so many years and addressing a new batch of graduates. So it's really, really inspiring for me that how this college thinks that I should be someone who can speak to you all and talk about my journey and the choices I've made in my life, which have made me stand here and be able to talk to you. So just to give you a little bit of brief, well, it's everything is almost covered in the introduction, but just a little bit of brief why I am here and why I've chosen this journey, and a little introduction about the development sector. So when I was in my college, I thought, like everyone, I will be doing my graduation, then post graduation, and definitely clear my net exams and become a teaching faculty somewhere in Kolkata, definitely. So this was a plain sight vision, and a lot of my batchmates even they thought, okay, after the good social science degree, I will do a B.Ed course and I'll become a teacher, because most of the time this is the common place where our batchment used to think that, okay, either we are going to do the government exams, the civil services, UPSC and WPSCs, or teaching line, and the other will be something like I can go for a policy think tank and somewhere in policy making and about how to write, how to get into journalism, mass communication. So these were only 4 5 areas where we were thinking. Never did I thought that a few years down the line I will be working in development sector, because uh, in Kolkata during that time, and though I was a very active member of the LTS society, social club, and everything, social service was something which was there within, and being a part of those societies and clubs for the, I think, 10 a decade, more than a decade, this was something which was ingrained to do something for the community, and I really enjoyed working with the people. So but then it was not something which I was thinking it will become a choice of my future. It was something I was passionate and I was doing just to help the community, and to have a space where something I'm doing more than just learning from the classroom lessons. So after completing my bachelor's, I did my post graduation, definitely applied into various central universities, got into Hyderabad Central University, BHU, and PUBAD. But Pondicherry was something which was far apart from Kolkata, and I really wanted to do the IR bit, because Pondicherry that time was very famous and had a student exchange program. So I thought, okay, let me do that, and I should complete my IR into that and go for a student exchange program and learn about different government institution in the world, because China and America was something which was really fascinating to me back then. So after graduation, got into Pondicherry, completed my master's. My core area was China and India relationships, the international trade. So, and that was something which I also wanted to do for my PhD. But I thought it's been a long journey, just classroom learning. Let me take a year off. And before going into international relations and going on to China and taking all those lessons, let me take a break and learn about my own country. Because coming from Kolkata, rural community was something which was not something I was uh, working directly with. So a leadership program definitely came into my way. I was surfing one day my LinkedIn profile and I was going through what I can do, maybe a small internship, a fellowship, or something like just to take a break from my academics. And an application came through. India Fellow was the leadership program. And I did my GDPI, cleared everything, and I got selected. Went on for orientation, and during those orientation, a lot of graduates were selected across the country, and on the basis that they are willing to learn and work with the NGOs and development sector, various enterprises, social enterprises, to help them basically get the experts and skills from a good institution and get a build a bridge between a rural and a urban space, so that we, whoever are coming from a who are blessed to have been given the opportunity to go into good school and college, can share our skill and knowledge with the rural community who really need someone like us, young people like us. So these were the some outlying, and that made me scratch my head. Okay, let me get into that, because this is something which I've never done. So after joining in for the fellowship program, there was various kind of orientations, and a lot of people came in across the country, and through a lot of rounds of interviews and sessions and workshops, we all were divided into various workspaces, various NGOs, or how would I say, institution, who were focused into different spaces. Like a development sector is a big umbrella. Some NGOs or some institution might be working in health sector, like tuberculosis in Bihar. Some NGOs institution might be working in education, like teaching the slum kids of Bombay. Similarly, livelihood, gender focused, all these were various sector which I never thought existed, because for us, NGOs was something like, okay, we are doing for social service. So, and after the workshops and everything, the jury selected me after whatever observations they had, that I am someone who was challenging the gender narratives of the country. Like, okay, why men are allowed to do this? Why women are not allowed to do this? Why women are considered to be a burden in the society? Why male are only allowed? So there were a lot of norms regarding patriarchy, matriarchy, of whatever theoretical knowledge I had. So I was questioning throughout my workshop, which made the jury select, okay, this girl, she's asking a lot of questions and she had some preconceived notions about gender. Let us put into a gender centric organizations. So that is how Chaitanya came in my life. It is an NGO which is working, which I think started in 1994, and they work with the self-help groups. Self-help groups is basically women coming together with a very basic thing to save together some money, and it's like a microfinancing, but it is social way of microfinancing, wherein in urban cities we take loans from the bank and microfinances, and we pay a interest to those banks or micro enterprises. The money is going out, wherein in SFGs we were teaching women to save money as well as share the interest. So a lot of financial training and financial literacy was going on there. And apart from that, now you're saving money. What will you do with the money? So livelihood. So it was very, very how would I say, humbling, that women were saving money from 1 rupees. They started saving from 1 rupees, 10 rupees, 100 rupees, and they took loan from these groups, bought cows, buffaloes, started their own dairy farms, bought some raw spices, started their own masala units. So bought some stitching machines, started their own tailoring business. So, like in the rural space, it was so humbling to see these women whom we consider who are illiterate. Maybe they have never been to a formal education, have never been able to buy a good pair of clothes, but now they're saving money and building such small micro enterprises. So our GDP contributing to the wider GDP of our country. So these were a wide eyes opening things which I was exposed to. Apart from all these empowerment, helping them fight lawsuits like domestic violence, this was something which maybe I would have seen in Bollywood movies or I've read. But seeing like women were beaten up coming in the sector, in those offices with bruises, and they have no money to go and fight against the alcoholic husbands. So it was not just a NGO where we were just working for social cause. It was staying and living the life of those rural community, of this woman. So I think that was something which changed my life, my narrative, how this country, how the women of this country, especially the rural communities, working. And that really, really inspired me. I was like, ki, let others take care of China and India relationship. Let me work with the rural community, because they need me, or maybe I need them to change in the person who I am right now. So that is how my journey started. I completed my 13 month fellowship. I got graduated or convocated in the month of March in 2019. 15th of March, I got convocated, and 18th, I came back to my host organization to rejoin because I was also preparing for my PhD. So I thought, okay, now the fellowship is over. Let me go back and continue with my higher studies. So I got through Shandong University in China to complete my PhD in international relations in China, India, BRI. That was my Belt and Road Initiative. That was my core area. And I got through that in a course. I got my scholarship. I was supposed to join in July. But 2019, 2020, when I came back and I joined in my host organization on the 18th of March, 21st lockdown happened and COVID happened. That again changed the entire narrative of how I'm going to take my life ahead. So the scholarship got cancelled. The China, it was China. So the admissions got cancelled, and then my organization they requested, अब तो cancel हो गया है, थोड़े दिन और काम कर लो. Then this was something which was very funny at that time because everything was so bleak. What will happen? And definitely after COVID and pandemics, widespread deaths happened. There was a lot of financial burden which was happening. So I thought, okay, let me also continue for 1 or 2 years. But after working for, I think, 2 or 3 years, I realized maybe I don't want to do any more of the India China. I want to do something for my own country. I want to do for the women here, for the rural community here. So I wanted to work again and maybe develop a deeper knowledge of how I can help these community to reach out to the wider spaces, maybe change a policy way, policy making, help the government come and meet these needed or in need people here. So this was something which was there because 2 years was too short a time to make a big change in the community in the society. So I thought let me stay and work for some more time. And then it was 3 years. The place I was working, it was a loss making enterprise. It was a very small working space. It was a loss making because meeting money was too difficult. But by the end of 3 years, when I left Chaitanya, that small firm started making or generating a profit of 3.5 CR. So I thought, okay, now my work is done here. And I trained the local community here. We recruited new people and they started working there. And then I was searching for, okay, let me go and work with some other space where they need me and I want to, because I think this is something which is inherent. If something is challenging you, that is the fire which keeps burning in your heart. Okay, this is ye impossible kyun hai? Why is it this impossible? Let me make this possible. So this was something which was motivating in me because living apart from Kolkata, from your family, at times it's scary because pandemic happened, your parents are there. Also being a woman, staying out in a different state, in a different city, family worries. But then you need something to be motivating within you. So yes, to work with the community was something. After I think I finished working with Chaitanya, I thought let me explore some other sectors, some other spaces where people need me. That is how Women Weave and Reva Society happened. Because I'm here in Madhya Pradesh working for the past 6 years now, and this space has become more common to me than any other space. I know the local dialect, the people, the food, the culture. They have accepted me, I have accepted them. So I wanted to stay here for some more time. I started working with the handloom school as a program coordinator. It's a very very unique project in the entire country, I would say, wherein this institution was established by the Holkar family. It was a royal family of Central India back then. Ahilyabai Holkar is also in our history books. So it is their family enterprises institution which was set up by them. And Sally Holkar is the founder. She recently won the Padma Shri on the 27th of April, just a week back. And she established this institution with the mindset that we should work with the handloom sector, because after agriculture and railways, the cottage industry, the handloom sector is the second or third largest employable sector of the rural community. So she had this vision that let's do something with these young weavers to help them, because For us, whatever clothes we are wearing, be it Jamdani in Bengal or Dhakai or Chanderi, Maheshwari, it's expensive. Or Banarsi, it is really really expensive. Why? Because a person is weaving the entire cloth by their own hand. It's taking around 25 to 30 days, and if it's expensive cloths, around 45 to 60 days to complete one piece of cloth. And with the rising prices of gold and silver, the zaris which are used in the fabric, the sector was suffering a lot. They were working just as labor, not seeing a bright future in this sector. And it is only the way where the rich is were exploiting the poor, because the poor or the laborers or the weavers did not know how the world is working, how to do marketing, how to use the social media, how to basically understand the basic concept of demand and supply of colors. So this is a lot of textile centric. The language is very textile centric, but that is how Sally ma'am or the founders thought that let us educate the weavers how the world is functioning, because India today is the largest supplier of handloom textiles to the entire world, and we are not understanding this importance. Like big countries like America, Switzerland, US, because all these are our clients, they are buying from us. I keep on meeting with a lot of international travelers who come to India to buy these textiles, to learn the craft. Why? Because this has got extinct. Now no one weaves. Handloom weaving is not there in their country. So this is so precious to us, and people do not understand or do not know the value of it. Also, there has been very less or little government interventions, because it is not a glamorous space, or it's not something which people would like to do. And working in a very small village, in a very small town, is also challenging to a lot of people. So these were there, and the handloom school got established, where we were teaching the weavers through formal education, getting all the experts here on board, educating them, going through a certificate program. And that is how they got graduated, learned the entire mechanism of business. They started their own micro enterprises, social enterprises. That is the term we usually use here. Like it is not the urban spaces of Bangalore, Pune, who are doing a lot of startups. Even the rural community is doing a lot of startups, like organic farming or organic clothing and cotton and silk. A lot of things are there. So big potential was seen here, and that revolutionized the entire town of Maheshwar, where this family was working and Sally ma'am was working. I think in back in 1978, when they started working with the weavers, there were only 30 or 50 of them who were seeing a future, and they were very old. Today, this town is bustling with around more than 8,000 of weavers, earning around 70, 80,000 per month, generating profit in lakhs, because they have understood the business model. They know how to demand the right price. So it is not just the rural space. Even today, when I interact with a lot of interns, because we keep on hosting interns from fashion institutes like NIFT and ID, or management institutes like IIMs, IT. Like currently, we are negotiating and talking with IIT of Indore, IIT of Bangalore, Bombay. They all, like, it's a wide space which even I did not think existed. This collaboration, that okay, a management student can also come and get involved in this, or a IIT professional engineer can come and get involved in this. I am a social science graduate and a postgraduate. I never thought I will be working in a textile or an enterprise, running a business of leading a team of around 100 of people and a community of 400 plus. So this is something which is a skill driven organization, a skill driven sector. And if I go back to my education and academics, how political science has helped me uh, work in this space is definitely the human interaction. Being a social science graduate and learning about theories, how the government functions, how the Panchayati Raj functions, like dreaming about doing a PhD in India, China international relations, and now working with the Panchayati Raj, the Nagar Palika, the municipal corporation. It's really, really a knowledgeable experience. And also whatever teachings I have got through my entire bachelor's and postgraduates, which has helped me tackle those issues. Because in government, politics is there. You have to make your way up, you have to fight your way up for the human rights, for the people here. but you just cannot go and fight. You need to know the facts, the constitution, the articles, the rights which we have. So I think when I go there, and if I'm voicing someone's opinion, if I'm fighting for a woman, or for my team member, to any government institution or someone, or writing an opinion or article for them, my knowledge of what I've learned of the entire college and my university days has really really helped me. So I think anything uh, of importance is there. I think whatever knowledge and theory or whatever sessions I've gone through has really, really helped me of what I'm dealing with my current professional life today. So yes, this has been a lot. I can just keep on talking and talking because I'm working with the people. So each and every person coming in my life gives a purpose to work in this sector, and I have innumerable stories to tell, which has shaped me and which has motivated me to work in this sector. And today, if I'm sitting here, I keep on getting applications a lot from Kolkata, also from various across the country. People who are graduates from history, of social sciences, economics, they want to work in this sector because they want to understand the rural space. They want to apply their knowledge, whatever they have learned in these skill driven workspaces, and which has really really helped our country also to progress. So this has been a bit of my journey. Women Weave and Reva Society are social enterprises of the Holkar family. Again, Reva is mostly into producing Maheshwari textiles, handloom. Women Weave is also there, where we are working into a B2B model, supplying to the international clientele. So all these are there. We provide provident fund to the artisans here. We have built the entire housing community here for the rural community, providing insurance, providing health camps. So these various spaces are also there where someone can come, learn, and apply their skills and knowledge and help this entire community, and thus the society in a larger space and the country in a very wider space, to help us grow as an individual, as a human, and as an entire country, I would say. So yes, this has been my journey thus far. And yes, if now anyone has some questions, definitely we can get into that.
Um, of course, I have been very much aware of a lot of things that happened, particularly the India-China relation. But I need some uh, uh,
I think we lost.
yes. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. All right. So, girls, please feel free to ask your questions, clarification. You can ask her about her Loreto life as well. Let's see how much she still feels free to discuss.
Even if someone doesn't answer, I can say my life was really really I was uh, a loved one by all my professors, especially Dr. S.
Right.
I was
Of
a
course.
talkative. I think during our farewell, we had this small workshop where we were giving token to various students, and I got helpful and talkative. So yes, I'm right. I'm in the right space. I talk a lot.
Yes, I also remember Sandra's group of four S's, isn't it? So,
So a lot
Sandra,
of yes.
yeah, yes, go ahead, Sandra, please.
I was just asking all the students that, a lot of them are from third year. So it is really helpful if you are also asking some questions that what to do after completing the graduation. Because I think though we had a plan what we are going to do after a post graduation, but most of us were also little confused and little scared because the time is unpredictable. The pay scale is very challenging. So even that you can ask, that how much someone is earning in this sector, or what are the skills or degrees required, because that is something which is very important. And when you go for a job or when you apply for various spaces, people ask, because that is something which is really, really important.
Right, absolutely.
Yes,
Yes,
Shambhavi.
Shambhavi.
Ma'am, can you please share with the students that how you just got in the profession? Like, what are the ways to help them as well? So it would be really helpful for the students as well.
Okay. So I got into this profession by completing a fellowship, but if you're not interested or doesn't want to do any fellowship, you can straight away apply to various NGO sectors or development sectors, institutions who are working with the rural community. So it is not something which is required. But if you are doing an internship or a fellowship, you are trained, because when you are working as a professional into a full scale job, you are expected to do a lot of things which you do not know, might not know. Because when I completed my post grad, I was not aware about a lot of things, how this sector or how this job is working, what skill is required, how to also work with basic Excel calculations of presentations. A lot of we did for us school and college presentations, but that is very different from what you write, a professional proposal writing. So all these are there when you apply as a job directly to an institution. But when you do a small internship or a very short duration certificate course or a fellowship, the 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 supporting organization help you learn those skills. Like for instance, when I was a fellow, though I was placed in a very different rural spaces, but then my mentors, they were in constant contact. They were teaching us, okay, this is a small course like human centered design, you can do this, system thinking. There are various courses which we go through. Oh, I'm facing challenges of how to deal with this local team, they're not understanding, they're not listening to me. Then these mentors, they help you navigate this sector. So that has really, really helped me. But even if you're not into or thinking of doing a fellowship and maybe straight away want to get into a workspace, you can definitely apply in areas and institutions which are prevalent across the country. Various places, they need someone like us to work. So yes, this is the way where you can apply.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
I really like your background, the threads, the reels, everything, thread reels behind. Yes, chose a very lovely background for your work. I have two things to ask you, Sandra. I don't know if this thought has come to the girls or not, but in development sector, okay, how does the professional hierarchy works? Because when one joins a government service or a private service, there is an annual increment, there is a gradual uh, promotions on performance basis, etc., all these things. But how does the development sector works here in this area?
Okay. So, like any other corporate or professional hierarchy system, even the development sector is like that. But various institutions have their own spaces and hierarchy structure as well. Like in my previous organization, there was one MD, CEO, and various managers, and below the managers, the local teams used to work. In my current space, there is a board of member, a trustee, a big trustee board is there. So, trustee is there everyone, because in the end, this is a social space. A lot of people who have spent and just given their life to serve the people, they become the trustees here. So and they are the one who decide how, because we have to be very conscious of what we are doing. In the end, we are working with the people. So even a minute decision of how to use the fund and at our disposal, how to talk, what to say to the community needs to be measured, because we just cannot go and do anything left and right. So a big trustee board is definitely there in almost all the social institution which is there in the sector. Then definitely we have an implementing board, where is the CEO is there, the board members are there, and below that there are managers, coordinators, operating officers, and below that the entire local community is there, because in the end, I would say around 80% of the workforce is always the rural community. So that is the basic structure which almost all the social institution follows. And regarding the pay scale and the increment and PFGF, so as I just said that it also depends on various institution which offers all such insurance or social security to us. Like where I am working currently, they offer provident fund, gratuity, insurance to the artisans, because they are very clear in their agenda that we are working for the people. And most of the social institutions, they offer such medical leave, medical emergencies, and supplies to all the people who are coming from out. And I would say, in if you're going to work in a rural space, coming from a different space, the rural community is more welcoming. They will take care of your food, of your travel. They will treat you as more than a guest. They're like you are someone who are coming and living your life and working for us. So they, it is someone like a messiah. It is a very fancy word, but that is the love. That is the love which they show. So increment, and there is yearly increment which happens every year, but again it is a lot of subjective to which institution you're working. Like currently where I'm working, it has an increment policy of 10 to 20%. It depends on now then performance driven, how you're performing, what you're doing. So all these are there to measure. Some institutions are grant and CSR funded, because a big part of the social sector is funded by the CSR, like big brand companies like the Reliance or Birlas, or they all fund such small institution. And government regulated funds are also there, like the FCRA is there, where foreign funds are also coming from big organizations like WHO or something like that. They funnel money to our country to help these NGOs. Like CRY is also funded through foreign funding, but then they have to achieve a certificate, that is FCRA under the Home Ministry. So these are various spaces how these social institutions work. And as far as my knowledge also go, a lot of people who work in this sector, after 10 to 12 years of experience, they start their own organizations, they start their own enterprises. So if you are someone who are passionate to start something of your own, this is a really really great sector to work, because it's not something which is inhuman. You have to work with the people, you will learn everything from scratch and from the soil. So that's there. Yes, Piyasa and Aditri.
Yes, I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question and come back when there is again less questions from student. Yes, Piyasha, go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask, what are the challenges you faced while working in the development sector? And ma'am, do you think you are well equipped with the skills required in the development sector?
Okay. Challenges. The first challenge is food. It's a very basic understanding. See, in the end, you're working in this country. You are from this country. There is not, I would say, some challenges which is out of your control. You cannot deal. Definitely, when you're working in a different state, in a different, working with a different community who has their own culture. So getting accepted in such kind of a community and culture is little challenging. Why? Because you have to really work hard and make your intentions very clear so that these community accept you. Why? Because you're not working with a robot. You're not working in a uh, how would I say, mechanized or a managerial sector. You're working with the people directly. So I think that is the biggest learning you have from this sector, as well as that is the biggest challenge which you have in this sector, because you're working with the human behavior, right? We learn in our books that human behavior is the most unpredictable one. So that is the biggest challenge. And regarding the skills, there were, I definitely, I wouldn't say that I was skilled enough to work in this sector and reach this position. There were a lot of things which you learn as you work in this space, like how to formulate the proposal writing, how to talk to funders, how to deal with the community, how to solve the financial disputes, how to provide loans. So there are a lot of basic skills which you learn while you are here. But then again, it is also something which is very uh, sector specific. Like if I am someone who is working in a health sector, and I am not someone who is from a science background, but during my learnings and my job, I realized that if I do this certificate program or this course, or I'll go for a short program, I will be more equipped with the knowledge and skill and will be able to perform better in my job. So these are something which is very individualistic. You have to take a call, or you have to take decision whether I should learn more things to help me scale up and skill up in my business. So currently, whatever degree and graduation I had, I thought, okay, if I'm interested to work in the gender with the women more, so I need to do a small diploma program in the gender space. Why? Just because maybe I want to learn more about women's right. Maybe I want to learn more about what the Constitution of India is has guaranteed to the women, and how I can be right in my approach. What were some challenges and changes which happened in the history? So this was something which was my individual decision to help me skill up and perform better in my job. So I wouldn't say that this is something which you have to come in this sector with basic skills. Definitely you should have a little bit of skill of written and speaking English, of your language, whatever language you are good at. You should know basic computer language. You should know how to talk to a professional. So these are very basic spaces uh, which is needed to work in this space.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
Aditri, you had raised hand before Oishani. Are you still there? Oishani, then please go ahead if Aditri is taking time.
Ma'am,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
accidentally got logged out.
Let Oishani ask a question,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Aditri,
ma'am.
then you go ahead. Okay,
Yes,
Oishani,
ma'am.
go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but this question actually struck me. How do you actually ensure that the workers are not being exploited in a capitalist state like India?
It is a very, very important and really smart question, Aishani. Thank you so much. But I think how the workers are not exploited in this world is a very generic and a very big question, a wider question to work with. What I can answer right now is that how the organization, the institution who are working with such labor centric and labor specified jobs and workspace, they are definitely working that towards that they are not exploited. For instance, fair wages. This is something which we have learned, right? So where I am working with the people previous and this organization, the first thing which the institutions and the sector make sure to do is to provide a fair wage, because in the end finance and money is something which divides between a rich and a poor, right? So fair wage is something like if I am a rural marginal farmer, a handloom weaver, or a woman who is working in a dairy farm, and if I'm not earning a basic pay maybe of 300 rupees, this is what something the government has mandated, that you should at least earn around 320 rupees as per your area. And if I'm not earning that, I will not be able to meet my expenses of my medical expenses, of my rations, buy my food. So fair wages is something which all these institutions in this sector is specifically working for. Second is working conditions. So there are various NGOs like Ajivika Bureau is a, a social organization which is working with the migrant workers in Surat. So everyone knows Surat is a diamond hub of this country, but I've been to Surat. I have been and I've seen the workspaces. It's heartening. It's heartbreaking to see how these migrants, these men who are migrating from spaces like Orissa, Bihar, UP, living in a very inhuman condition. 20 25 people in one room sharing one common toilet, no guarantee of job. If your hand is lost in the factory, you're gone handicapped and living. So all these spaces are there. The exploitation is there because you don't have to even go out of the country. Even in this country there is capitalist spaces where they exploitation is happening, but then institutions like Ajivika and various spaces, they are working for the people, helping them fight for their rights, that if something gets someone dies while working, or something happened to or get handicapped during the workspace, the right medical aid is given or the right compensation is given, that they can fight in the code. So yes, these spaces, these institutions are helping. So wages is something which we're working towards. The rights, human rights is something where all these sector and these institutions are working towards. So by doing various small inputs like better living standards, like one organization has set up an entire housing colony. I have been to Kutch, where the White Desert in Gujarat. It was struck in 2004 with a very dangerous earthquake where the entire town was, I would say, abolished. The entire stretch of land, the houses were broken, people lost their houses and life. But then Kutch Mahila Vikas Sangathan, Setu, and a lot of various institutions, they are working Punashala to build earthquake centric houses or help the rural community to earn money. So providing them with basic sanitation, providing them with basic water. So all these are there. I would say exploitation happens. Some are man-made, like by the capitalist. Some are natural, nature-driven, like we all can see what is happening in the recent years. So institutions such as this, the sector and people who are working for this community, for the people of India, they help us fight against this exploitation. So this is how we are balancing the good and bad in this world and this in this country, I would say right now.
Thank you,
Uh,
ma'am, for your answer.
right.
Yes, very good question, Vishani. Sandra, I have a question here before Aritri goes in. What machines are these we were using? The wooden hand pulled weaving machine, or these are now electric machines of weaving that your organization is providing or facilitating?
Okay. This is a handmade wooden shuttle which is manually operated. Only then it is called a hand loom. Once it is machine made where there is electricity involved, it becomes a power loom. So spaces like Banaras, we all wear Banarasi.
Hmm.
UP's big handloom, it was a hub of handloom
Hmm.
sector and a very flourishing space, but it got totally destroyed because of machine made, because power loom has taken job of people. We do not like, we keep on debating about AI is taking up jobs, AI is taking up job. I think long time back machines were the one which took up a lot of the manual labor of job, because one person is there standing and pressing just one button, and on one click of button around 10 or 20 of the machine led looms are operating, making around, I think, one or two saris in half an hour, wherein one weaver was working on a hand loom. It takes for him to weave 1 week one sari, and around 10 to 12 families get employment. Why? Because someone is dyeing that yarn, someone is making that loom, someone is filling that bobbing, from someone is fixing the warp. So around 10 to 12 families, they get employment, get employment is generated for them through this sector. So that is why the fight is there against the power loom and handloom. That is something which is always there. So yes, we are using handloom, and definitely something which we are promoting and propagating throughout the country.
And these handlooms that are being used is almost the same structure like the Bengal tat weaving structure.
No, so
Or
all the handloom and different textiles have a different setup. Yes, around 70 to 60% of the shuttle, the mechanism, the pulley,
Hmm,
those are
hmm,
same. But when we use, like when we weave jamdani, jacquard
hmm.
is employed there.
Japan is used,
When
yes.
we weave Maheshwari, the dobby is there.
Hmm.
When we weave for Kutch or Banaras or various where hand buta is there, jala is there. So it
Hmm.
is a very different textile centric shuttles, but yes, mostly the shuttle look is there. For instance, the Nagaland in the northeast,
Yes,
when
I've
we
seen that. Yes.
weave those kind of backstrap weaving, where the weaver is starting and the back of the weaver is strapped against the loop. And when we see the Kashmir carpets or pashminas, the carpet is laid from up to
Yep.
down. It's from wall, it's hung up, not straight. So yes, I think it's a very beautiful, I think, artistry, and it's very nice to see that every textile has its own way of making and own mechanism how it works. But mostly 70 to 80% the tools are same.
Right. Aritri, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I wanted to. This is a bit of an out of context question, but you had mentioned about a fellowship you have done. So, ma'am, fellowships recently are a very important factor to even get any jobs or progress further. So, ma'am, could you tell me about the process to get a fellowship or how to apply for one or the challenges or basically how it is, how to proceed with it?
Okay, so there are a lot of fellowships in this country, and every fellowship has its own way of selecting and shortlisting candidates. But to have a very basic crux, famous fellowships like the SBI Fellowship is there, the Gandhi Fellowship is there, India Leadership Fellowship is there. Ashoka University also offers some kind of a fellowship. Mostly, what you need is a basic theoretical knowledge, which is there. Second is how you are confident, how much confident you are to deal with the situation. For instance, when you're going to apply for such fellowships, they will ask such questions like, okay, and it is something which you go through also for your public service Q&A, where they will give you a live situation. For instance, if a bridge is burning and you have to save a bunch of people and a young people, a old bunch of people and a young bunch of people, whom would you save? Or you can save yourself. So these are very human centric questions which they offer and they ask during the personal interview, during the group discussions, during the paper interview, such and they see what approach you are applying. That is how you get shortlisted. Not much, I would say, it's not something which is very scary, very tough. It is a measure to see how confident you are to deal with the people, how confident you are to tackle such issues. So, and the process is very almost same. I think June to July or September, from June, July, September, first round of applications come up for a lot of fellowships. Why? Because school graduates are also applying, and also a lot of third year graduates, they complete graduation so they can apply during those phases. And then there are some fellowship which start happening during winter time, so around I think January to March. So you have to be little aware. You can follow LinkedIn various pages of these fellowships which we have mentioned, and you can see when they keep offering. You can see their YouTube channel where few of the past fellows, they have discussed what they have answered and how they have approached such questions and what has been their journey thus far. So this is some. It's a very simple way, but application written SOPs, the asking about how you will deal in a current scenario, and basic spaces. If you're put into a room with around 10-20 people, and then you have to prove your point. Like for instance, I am giving you one example of my group discussion topic, which I got through, and for because of which I got selected, was you are a solicitor or you are a legislator, and you have to maybe fight a case or give a judgment to a Coca-Cola factory. They want to put up a Coca-Cola factory, and or you have to choose between a dairy farm. So now it is up to you how you're giving a judgment. The Coca-Cola factory will say, okay, we will provide employment and this and that. The dairy farm people will say, okay, we are providing employment. So each will have their own points to make. It is you who will make, who is going to answer that question how humanly possible, and putting forward your most rational answers. Ki, okay, Coca-Cola factory might be some health hazards. Drinking cold drinks is not good for health, or milk is good for health, this and that. So these are some questions which usually are being asked in every fellowship you are applying for. And yes, I think these are basic understanding of how you're going to approach such kind of an application.
Thank you, ma'am. This was extremely helpful.
Welcome, Aishani.
Ushani again. Yes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, since you mentioned about machines and industrialization actually taking up employment of these people, of these uh, how do I say it? People from the grassroots level. So how does these organizations actually ensure that the artistry of the country is not destroyed because of machinery?
So such NGOs and institutions have been fighting a big war, I would say. Right now, we are fighting a big war with our neighboring country. But how? Because it is not easy. When Women Weaver Reva Society started in 2008 or 9, the family and the trustees, the entire market was shut. Every artisans and every weaver community, they took to road. They were protesting against such machines. It is there, well documented in various newspaper. So we have to fight every time that okay, you cannot let the machines come into the picture, and we have to uh, talk to the government. A lot of negotiations happened during that time, where we were saying that okay, if you will allow such machines to come in, the entire sector will be destroyed. The craft, the uniqueness of those craft, because right now if you're wearing a handloom textile, though the same weaver will be weaving the same sari, it will be made on the same loom, but every textile will be different from each other. Every design will be different from each other, because it's a very finite source of production, right? So it's very unique and it's very beautiful in that way. And this is how I think various institutions have been fighting a lot of cases against such corporates, against such government interventions policies, where they try to capitalize on such production mechanisms. But there is also some spaces who are trying to keep up the authentic craft, the authentic look, the authentic feel of those crafts. And I think a lot of sector, they're still struggling. For instance, the belt craft, the metal, the potterers of the community. Back then, I think in our kitchen, our grandmothers used to have uh, pe- those utensils made of copper, made of brass, right, which were hand beaten. But now those communities are totally gone. No one is buying such kind of a vessel, and we are just buying machine made utensils, steel utensils at home. So these things are there. We keep on trying to negotiate every time such interventions are made, such policies are there. It is an ongoing struggle, I would say. Uh, and that is how I think, so who are there to fight such a struggle and who are ready to voice such opinion, the craft will stay, and we will definitely keep on trying to protect such kind of a heritage thing which we have of our country.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. We can take two more questions if there are any other participants want to know anything else. Sandra, how is the government facilitating the process? Skill in India, Make in India. Are you getting any kind of resource or any facilities under this policy on ground?
So government has been working, like the state government of Madhya Pradesh. They are really into protecting handloom of this state, because there is Chanderi, Maheshwari, a lot of tribal spaces are there. So they are trying to do a lot. But I would say the government interventions are directly with the community for them, because the government always give big targets, big numbers. They always need, okay, 10,000 or 1 lakh beneficiaries should be there. So at times it is little difficult to work with the government. They have their own way of working. They have their own targets. They have their own way of disposing the funds to such institutions. And they always like to have bigger number with a shorter duration intervention. So I would say government is doing whatever they can, like helping. A lot of awareness is done in this country. People are aware how to be little environment conscious, and they know about the craft, and they are helping the by providing subsidized loom. Some government intervention is also like providing free trainings or subsidized trainings to the weavers, to the artisans, be it from any craft. So the government institutions and interventions are there, but there are very less sites or very less collaboration which we can see between an NGOs and development sectors and government, because of the mismatch and a problem of implementing and meeting the targets. So it's a little difficult to work in that space.
Right. Can you share any anecdote of your COVID lockdown and working in rural area, or something which is giving them a taste of the field, the challenge of the field. You did say domestic violence victims and others. Other, of course, we know how much rural women are deprived of cash in hand and all other facilities, lack of healthcare. So, any anecdotes that you might have come across during this period?
COVID and pandemic was really, really challenging, I would say. And during the first lockdown, I was there in the field. I couldn't get the chance to come back home. So I was there with the community. So from providing free rations to helping them to reach the nearest medical facility to help them get the oxygen cylinder, it was challenging because we were also taking care of our own health and also trying to not spread the virus. So these were there, this was there, which was current situation which was going on. But what happened after pandemic was something which is more difficult to deal, because a lot of deaths happened. The bread earners of the families, they passed away. More than that, reverse migration, this was a term which I learned during my first year of COVID, that okay, there is such like in the near vicinity of our college, like there's pani puri wala or the puchka wala or the roll wala. All these people, most of them are migrants from states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Himachal, Odisha, and due to pandemic, they all came back. They have to sell their hawkers used to sell their carts, and most of them they couldn't pay the rent, so they have to leave their rental houses, and they came back to the own uh, native places, the rural villages. And when they came back, the biggest challenge which we were facing is, अब इनको काम क्या देना है, what to give them, because now a pani puri wala or the puchka wala has been out of his house for the past 10-20 decades. I don't know, their family has been there, the family is out there, the children have been studying in the institution in Kolkata, but now they have come back with everything to Bihar, for instance. And then where are they going to stay, what are they going to do? There is no farmland to do agriculture, there is no skill which they are going to apply in this village, and they have no way to go back because now the money is lost. So this was the biggest challenge. But in a way it was, I would say definitely in a way it was really challenging and scary. But a lot of entrepreneurial activities also happened during that way. So this was something which was surprising as well as learning experience, because these hawkers, a lot of them, they came back to the from tier 1, mostly tier 1 like Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Kolkata. They came back to their own tier 3, tier 2 cities or rural spaces. Some chefs working in a restaurant, they came back and they started their own restaurants. Some brands who was making stitching, working as a tailor in a big city, they came back and started their own tailoring job. Most of the biggest revolution we saw was the organic farming in the agriculture sector, because people became more and more health conscious. So a lot of entrepreneurial activity started happening everywhere, which was really shocking, surprising, and a really happy news, I would say. So it was a very the pandemic situation was something which had definitely taken a backstage for our country, because we suffered a lot financially. But then we also gave birth to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of social entrepreneurs, I would say, who started working with the rural community in their own cities and stopped struggling the cities. Like work from home became a culture. So people were now balancing work and life, like doing gardening in their terrace and then working on their laptop. So this was a very funny incident, funny, I would say, a learning incident which happened during those 2 years. Yes, it's there.
Right, that is what COVID was all about. So many anecdotes, so many learning experiences.
Yes.
Do we have any more questions for Sandra here? Okay, then Sandra will move into the vote of thanks. You know the procedure. All right, Vanshika, please take over.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Department of Political Science and the Political Science Society, it is my privilege to extend this formal vote of thanks. First and foremost, we are truly grateful to Miss Sandra Shaw to have had the opportunity to listen to you today. Your insightful talk, drawn from your experiences and journey, has deeply enriched us. It was indeed an enlightening session, and we thank you sincerely for taking the time out to be with us. We express our heartfelt gratitude to our respected principal, Dr. Sister A. Nirmala, for her constant encouragement and unwavering support. Her guidance continues to inspire and lead us in all our endeavors. We are deeply grateful to Ms. Donna Chung and Mr. Shomik Bandhopadhyay for their invaluable support in organizing this online session. Furthermore, I would like to appreciate our esteemed professors whose guidance, encouragement, and intellectual support continuously pave the way for such enriching learning experiences. Lastly, I thank the audience for being part of this online session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It's a huge number.
Thank you, Sandra. I'll be in touch with you. I'll share a few more things of from the our end with you, and I guess we can only wish best. Your work is stupendous, difficult. You're away from home almost like, what should I say, 11 and a half months. I guess you come for 5-10 days only back to
Yes,
Kolkata. We would have loved to have host you physically, but given semester exams, holidays, everything, we didn't get that opportunity. Hope to meet you soon. That would be one idea that I have in my mind. And keep doing good work. I hope you have inspired today many girls not to hesitate to enter the development sector with all the promises and with the future that they can imagine like you. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
Anyway,
And anyone
uh,
can definitely get in touch with me even after the call if you want to know more about the fellowship, even Pondicherry or the jobs. And I do have, if you have any inclination towards a specific sector like health or anything, you can definitely get in touch with me. I have a wide network of fellows and students and professionals. I will definitely connect you with the right person after the graduation. So all the best, whoever is going to
your
assist.
Insta chat would be flooded. You have opened up a floodgate. And now they will be after you. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you all the faculty members for joining. So I will gradually end the meet. Girls, you can start leaving. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
I'll get with you on the WhatsApp. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.